Hello, and welcome to an oracle card reading. I haven't done an oracle card reading in quite some time, so I thought it'd be quite fun to just pull some cards from different card decks and see what kind of messages I get from higher dimensions. So the questions that have been on my mind lately are questions like, what is reality? Why did humans come to Earth? What is our purpose? So I've been investigating and researching lots of different ideas about what reality is. So I just wanted to see what kind of messages I might get from the higher dimensional realms. So the first card, let's see what it is. So, first card is Sacral Portal, Creativity, Intimacy, Inhibition. So this one is due to the sacral, the chakras. So I think sacral, I think that's probably the first or the second one. I think it's root and then it's sacral. So it's to do with creativity. So maybe we came to planet Earth to create the type of realities that we wanted to experience, and that we are non-physical spirit entities in a human physical body for us to experience what life is like in the material world, because as free-flowing spirit energy, we need to be inside of a body to actually experience physical manifestations and physical experiences. So that is one theory of why we are on planet Earth. And I've been reading the book Conversations with God, which is really enlightening. And in the book, in the chapter I was reading last night, God was saying that in order for God to experience God's self, it produced lots of souls and then created them into physical beings so that they could go forth into a physical world and experience all spectrum of emotions and experiences, and then sort of feed back to God, to Source, which is kind of a really lovely idea when you think about it. Okay, next card, Sanctuary, Healing and Comfort, Faith and Restoration. So this reminds me of another theory that there are some beings on this planet that chose to come to this planet to provide healing and comfort, to restore faith, to bring about faith back to God, back to Source, back to Creator, and to help the planet heal and ascend, and also to help humanity heal and to provide comfort. Okay, the next card, Third Eye Portal. So there's a lot of talk in the spiritual community about opening your third eye, your mind's eye, which is another word for the third eye. And it, like, when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, because I love imagining things. And I was like thinking, that's your mind's eye. So maybe that's connected to your third eye, and that you have intuition and you just know things, but you don't know why you know things. So when you open your third eye, whether you do it intentionally or whether it just happens spontaneously, you then are able to see beyond the veil and to see things of the unseen nature, and you're given a vision of certain things and the power of clairvoyance and clarity, and help to decipher confusion as well. So yeah, that was an interesting reading. So basically, each card deck I pulled out 3 cards because there's something magical about the number 3. Okay, so the next card is letting go. So, message that I feel that I'm getting is letting go of things that aren't in your control, basically. I know in the world right now, there's lots of stuff happening and there's lots of information and lots of different theories of what is and what is not. And this morning, I was just talking to my private podcast, because I sometimes record a private podcast for my future self. And I was just telling my future self about how I'm feeling right now. And I was like telling her, I know it sounds really crazy, but it's like an audio diary, and it's really cathartic because I don't have to, there's no filter. I don't have to worry about what I'm saying. I can be completely truthful. And so I just record these podcasts for my future self and just to take out things that are in my head. So just verbalize them. So I was telling my future self this morning that I'm feeling really zen-like and I just feel really detached. And I'm just like, whatever will be, will be. And I'm just like enjoying the moment of every day, and I'm like just enjoying being at home and working on my creativity and researching. I'm absolutely loving reading and researching about different theories about realities. At the moment, I'm like obsessed with this new theory, model. Well, it's not new theory, but it's a model theory about, how this world, could be a matrix and, stuff like that. So it's just really, really interesting. And yeah, so I'm just like letting go, like whatever is going to happen in the world, it'll all work out eventually. And I think that's the idea, is just that you just align yourself to a higher vibration and you don't worry about things that are out of your control. And I'm at the moment, I'm just, oh my God, there's so many birds like flying around me. They're so sweet. The little ones are really cute. And yeah, so I'm just like working on gratitude at the moment and appreciating the things that I have in my life right now. And hopefully lockdown, won't last forever. Maybe it'll end by the end of this week. We've got May Day, bank holiday on Friday. So they're supposed to review it on Thursday. So who knows, they might lift the lockdown by the end of this week and next week, which will be nice. And I was just thinking it would be nice to just occasionally go to the park and just walk in the park and stuff. But in the meantime, I'm really enjoying just peace and quiet in my garden and reading my books and things like that. Okay, next card, light. So this card is, be the light that you want to see in the world. If you, pretty much, be the light, hold the light for yourself, for the collective consciousness, and, be kind to yourself and kind to fellow human beings. I read somewhere that someone said, be kind, as much as you can. And I thought that's a really nice philosophy to have, really. And the final card from this deck is growing. So it's a picture of pink roses and they're growing and they're blooming. And I was literally just thinking, when I came to the garden, I was looking at all the roses and I was like, oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. And the roses are blooming. And I feel like this lockdown period has given us an opportunity to grow and to learn new things and to have our epiphanies, and for our old belief systems to be broken down and crashed. I know for me, I've learned so much about so much stuff that I never would have thought, and I wouldn't have learnt that stuff if it wasn't for the lockdown. And I've had like old belief systems, lifetime belief systems come crashing down and then having to rebuild from the scratch again. But it's exciting because I learn something new every day. And and I think that's what life is all about, really. It's about growing and about learning new things and learning new skills and learning new knowledge and information and growing in that respect. Because I think it was Tony Robbins that says that when you're working towards a goal and you're growing, that's when you are satisfied, when you feel happy. That we always want to work towards something, and I think that's what life is really about. It's about growing, and I'm obsessed with this new YouTube channel that I discovered. It's called the Overwatch Project. No, it's called the Overwatch channel, and he, in one of his videos, he talks about how knowledge is key. Knowledge is the key to crack the reality, to realize what reality really is. And it's so weird because what he said is exactly word for word what I have been saying to myself and what I've been writing in my diary. So when I heard him say it, I was like, oh my God, he's saying the same thing I'm saying. Because lately I've been feeling like knowledge is the one thing that you take with you in the next life, in the afterlife. Knowledge is the key. Knowledge is the most important thing because it's the only thing you can take, in the next life, in the afterlife. And I thought that was just really amazing. And I'm just like so excited to spend the rest of my life gathering as much information and knowledge. And he was like saying that, it's almost like you're an investigator investigating what reality is. And then what I'm doing is like deciphering between truth and untruth and finding the truth that resonates for me personally, because everyone's truth will be different, and whatever you believe in, the universe, your reality will then reflect that back to you. So it's all depends on what you know and what you believe. And actually knowing is more powerful than believing, because knowing is, you know it. You don't just believe it, you actually know it. It's like it's your truth. Okay, so those cards are done. So now I'm going to select the next 3 cards. Okay, so this card is Goddess of the Moon. Not sure what this message is telling us. Maybe something about the moon. I think, the power of the moon and the cycles that we have and how it works towards the tides. And also it actually affects us because we're made up of water, and when the moon is full, it can actually have an effect on us, on our emotional well-being as well. How the moon has an effect on the tides of of the ocean and the sea. There are some ideas that it could actually have an effect on human beings as well. So it's an interesting little tidbit. And the next card says Angel of Strength. So this card is like telling me that if there are any moments of time that you don't feel so strong, you can call upon God and ask for strength to get through whatever you need to get through. And that God is always there listening. God is always there for you. All you need to do is ask, and you shall be given, and your prayers should be answered. Also, I read in the book Conversations with God that, even if you don't formally say a prayer, but just thinking it, that works as well, because God already knows what you're thinking and what you're feeling. So you could just say it in your mind, whenever you feel like it. Okay, the next card is... Okay, I totally don't get this card. Man holding a coin. I think I'm going to skip that one because I don't know what that message is telling me. Coin could be related to money somehow. But yeah, okay, skip. Okay, now I'm going on to the last 3 cards. Okay, this card is Self-Reliance. Don't be afraid to fly solo. I love this card because, sorry, just touched my microphone. I'll say it again. Self-reliance. Don't be afraid to fly solo. So the message that I feel this card is saying is that, sometimes it's actually really what's the word? Okay, sometimes it's very empowering to be self-reliant and to fly solo. So for me personally, during this lockdown, I've just really gone within and just focused on myself and haven't really contacted my friends or anything like that. I deactivated WhatsApp because I just wanted to just retreat, just go within and just focus on myself and read books and research and just be with myself really. And I think that's totally okay to do that, especially if you're an introvert. You need a lot of time to recharge your batteries, and because of everything that happened, it was quite traumatic because we've never experienced this in the whole of human history. So I think we all needed a lot of time to process what was going on and deal with it, and it was a lot of feelings. So it's totally valid. It's totally okay for you to just fly solo for a while and just do your own thing and not worry about what other people are doing or worrying about being there for other people. You take care of yourself first, and then you can then be there for other people. So yeah, don't be afraid to fly solo. It's actually very empowering. Okay, next card. This card is a picture of dolphins and mermaids, and it says, "Don't worry, be happy." I know it's a very, what's that word? Is it platitude? When people just say things just for the sake of things. Oh, don't worry, just be happy. That's harder. It's hard to do. But if you just shift your attention towards things that do make you happy, then it makes it easier. So try not to focus too much about, oh, I mustn't worry and I must be happy. No, I think that's too much pressure. I think if you're just really gentle with yourself and you say to yourself, okay, what can I do that will, give me joy in this moment? And it could be something creative, creating something, or just something, really simple like walking in your garden, listening to music, or having a little solo dance party, or watching, a film on Netflix or something like that, or creating something, just anything that you feel like, oh yeah, that would give me some joy. So you just then you don't have to worry so much about, making your feelings feel a certain way, because sometimes when you take the focus off the feeling and more on the doing and the action, then the feeling just automatically comes from doing something that gives you joy. And the final card is for the parents that are listening to this, and this is about children. Know that your children are protected. So, yeah, don't worry about your children. They are divinely protected. And, yeah, I think that's a nice message for parents, because I can't imagine what they must be going through, having to keep their children entertained throughout this whole lockdown period and coming up with creative ideas. I've seen a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of mothers coming up with some really creative ideas to play with their children. I thought that was really lovely, and I know some mothers are having a difficult time having to be a teacher and also a mother. So sending you lots of love. And you're doing an amazing job, mothers and also fathers. And yeah, so thank you so much for listening to this Oracle card reading, and I will end it there. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.